Hello, hello, hello. You guys are amazing. I know it's been a while, but the fact that you're still here, that you're still subscribed to the channel, and tuned in, I'm just so humbled by that and so grateful for your patience and your understanding. I know I don't have to tell you how crazy things have been um, from a planetary perspective, right? So, we know right now we are in Mercury retrograde until August 1st. And on top of that, we've got these two um, lunar eclipses that are or have and will occur in the month of July. So it's been pretty hectic on my end in terms of the energy. I shouldn't even say hectic. I will say it's definitely caused me to go in and to be more introspective and observant of my own energy and movements around the current energy. So that's a given. But I do want to just again thank you all for still being with me, just being loyal and faithful. I really appreciate it. I know that some of you have had personal readings with me in the past, and I thank you for your business. As I always tell you, and especially if you're a new subscriber here, I always say I don't need to do this. I love to do this. So this is not really a job for me or a necessity. This is something that I've devoted my time to because I really want to help people heal and grow. So if you are interested in a personal oracle card reading, please feel free to shoot me an email or even leave a comment and just feel free to dialogue on the channel when you watch your readings. So because it's been a while, um, what I want to do is just an overall energy read. Typically, I know that we kind of dive into the whole divine partnership um, readings, or whomever you're connected with and you're here to inquire about. I'm usually drawn to those because of my own situation. I've always wanted to just help shed light on that aspect of our experience, but I am just led tonight because of the energy to go ahead and do sort of an overall energy read. And I'm still working with the Sandra and Taylor Oracle deck. And I am also still working with the Mystic Moon Twin Flame energy read deck. So um, we may or may not even get into these. I'll be honest. I really want to allow um, the divine spirit to just sort of lead in the direction of the reading. I think it's more of a strategic thing for me in terms of sort of building my muscle spiritually when it comes to being intuitive and getting those messages. Um, it's something I'm sort of testing out. So without going too deep into why I've been gone, it's not totally irrelevant. I just don't want to stretch the reading longer than necessary. But I will say I'm not timing this. I'm not going to limit whatever spirit wants to do because number one, I owe you guys that. And then secondly, yeah, I just wanted to be really spirit led and influenced outside of my own, judgment and things like that. So, what I also plan to do, and I'll make sure to put a timestamp in the comment section, by the way, so that you guys can skip over this if you feel you need to. However, I do encourage you to, usually listen to the beginning because there's things that I'm sharing that you may need to hear. But anyway, so I'll put this timestamp down there, but I will say it's interesting. The whole twin flame dynamic has been the driving force behind a lot of people, getting on YouTube and doing readings, which is, I'm not knocking it at all. I mean, it's really why I landed here as well, because I had my own set of spiritual experiences with this person. And what's interesting, I can be completely forthright, is um, I have released any expectations around this partnership. I've released this person. And the reason I can share that so freely and openly, because that definitely shifts the dynamic with what I'm doing personally in terms of my gifts. It definitely shifts things for the better. And what I do know as well, I'm not the only one. There is something happening within the spiritual community that is causing people to go inward and to release what no longer serves us on a major, major level. It's really deep. Like, a couple of my personal friends that I talk to on a regular basis have literally all but one of them have shared with me that they did the exact same thing. And this is without any sort of influence from me or anyone else. It's just when the planets are fighting the way that they are now, and we are sort of at this planetary war, I think what happens is it forces you to release, because you can't be held down or weighted down by something that no longer serves your highest good. So, this is not to say that you won't come into contact or connection with this other person. But what I believe personally is that for right now, for this season, this hour, it's almost imperative that you disconnect from any expectation. And how do I want to word it? It's deep, guys. Like it's been pretty heavy for me. Um, but I will say I know without a shadow of a doubt this is what I was meant to do, and this is how I was meant to do it. It's definitely caused me to go deeper and to go in. But I say all of that to say to you that if you're here today, because you've experienced the same thing recently, I totally get it. I know exactly what you're going through, and I'm here to help. If you ever want to chat about it, just in general, or again, if you do want a more personal reading, please hit me up. My email and everything else like that is in the information section. I do want to add as well, just as a reminder, these are general readings, right? I'm reading for hundreds of thousands of different people. They may not like the video, they may not subscribe, but these are general. And so I may or may not tap into your energy. um, there's no way possible that you could connect with every person on the planet. So just keep that in mind. So if you hear something that doesn't fall in line with your situation directly, it's okay. Take what resonates, throw out the rest. Do not try to make a reading fit. Excuse me. Do not try to make a reading fit your situation. Um, that's with any channel. I will always advise you to um, go within, whatever comes to your heart and mind when you're listening to things like that. You go with that. Don't try to make it fit. So in terms of the energy, right? So again, we're in July, and usually with an eclipse, they occur at an upper and lower boundary because of the moon's orbit. So that means that they always travel in pairs, which is really interesting. So on July 2nd, we had a lunar eclipse that really linked us to sort of new beginnings, new opportunities that were sort of unexpected, fresh starts, things like that. Um, so it was a fresh, energetic energy. And then on top of that, with Mercury retrograde, which, always causes us to sort of go backwards, right? This is why you get people contacting their exes or just returning to old odd behavior, or maybe sitting and loathing about something from the past. It's all meant to be that way. But, when you are not self actualized, when you are not self aware and grounded in your own energy, it's easy to get caught up in these energies and start doing things without really knowing why you're doing it. This is why I'm here, to sort of help you clarify the why behind your behavior or the why behind things that you are experiencing. So again, I mentioned July 2nd, right? Sort of the fresh new start. July 16th, which was today, um, we had this lunar eclipse that, was supposed to help us to understand sort of the long term implications of any changes that we've been wanting to make and changes that we've been wanting to make but have not yet implemented or started to take action on. This energy has forced our hand. It's either forced the action or it has forced the mental mechanism behind the action. So, now you're forced to move. You're forced to do it. So it's a very interesting time from a planetary perspective, which I feel I'm getting goosebumps because I feel like, number one, I've been away from the channel for a minute, but I can already tell that this is going to be a pretty powerful reading for those of you that are tuned in, that have done the work, and who are interested in um, expansion and maturation along your journey. So, me included, as I said, I shared with you a very personal thing, and the fact that I released this person, that's huge for a lot of us in this community. And so I just want to encourage you. You're not alone. You know what I mean? And you will gain the clarity that you seek, for the simple fact that you are seeking it, right? So anyway, I've shuffled this deck, obviously. I've sat with the energy for a while. Anyway, before I pulled the cards out to shuffle, and I've meditated, and yeah, I think we're good and ready to go. Again, guys, you know how long-winded I can be, but there's always a purpose behind everything that I say. So thank you for your patience, and let's get this show on the road. So, as always, I'll always invite divine Holy Spirit in, to sort of guide the time, guide my words, guide these messages to the right place, to the right heart. Help my viewers to decipher um, their next best step or action that they are to take, or the direction on their journey. Spirit, we just thank you for your presence. We welcome you. We set a boundary of love, light, and fire and divine protection around this space. Any dark entity is not welcome here. And we just thank you. So I think once I'm done with this one, I'll start on some of it. Wow, you guys are ready to talk. Look at this. Now, usually I do 3 and 3. I'll do, 3 for person A's energy, 3 for person B, but we're not really looking at relationships with this reading. So I'm going to take what comes out as it comes out. This came out in pairs though, which is very interesting. So I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm really excited about this. This is a different format as well for me. Um, but yeah, I was saying that I'll do the signs after I'm done with this one. We'll go into Cancer because it's Cancer season. Maybe we'll just go right down the line to Leo and so on and so forth. So I'm just interested to see what we have so far. I'm just going to roll with it as I'm led. Interesting. So we've got the Thinking Woman, card number 47. I hope you guys can see this. I did my setup a little different. So I have my markers for my cards, but hopefully you can see this. If not, I'll be happy to post them when I'm done. Then we have card number 25, Deceit. I'm already getting something from this, by the way. Journey to, this is deep. This is getting really deep already. Spirit, how about a few more cards for my lovely viewers and subscribers. So thankful for you guys. While I'm shuffling and just chatting too, there's a couple of different things I want to touch on this channel, apart from oracle readings and things like that. Astral travel is one, and I think I'll stop here. I just got three more. Woman holding a heart. Action. Healer of the ages. Yeah, this is interesting. Let me just show you these cards as well. Card number 44. There's a lot of divine number patterns in this reading already. Action. I'm literally getting goosebumps. This is dope. This is Healer of the Ages. Card number 51. This is a very intense energy. I'm feeling it in my all of my lower chakras right now. Um, Definitely up my spine. Like there's a vibration taking place right now where I can feel there's a shifting. If you're here and you're tuned in, like you really want clarity and you're trusting in what I'm about to bring forth to you, I can tell you that just from looking at this overall transformation, alchemy, creating a new reality for yourself, um, being sick of the lies that you've been telling yourself. I'm not even going to go in any particular order. What I'm feeling immediately from sort of this top, excuse me, spread that I pulled, um, there's this contemplation. You've been in your head a lot about your situation. You thought about where you are in life over and over and over again, and you are sick and tired of being dishonest with yourself. So, the thinking woman, deceit go hand in hand, which is so interesting because we got those two major energies, but then this third popped out. And what do you know? We still have three and three. That's so funny. I didn't even really notice that because of the way they came out, but this is so consistent with what I usually do. But anyway, so journey, yeah, you're ready to go. Remember, I talked about the current planetary alignment and energies and this most recent lunar eclipse having to do with that shift, sort of forcing our hand with things that we know we've needed to do and we haven't done them. So, as I pointed out in the beginning, from my own experience, having released this person, it might even be a job for you. It might have even been, needing to move out on your own, or needing to be more self-sufficient, less codependent on people or things, or whatever it is that you've been trying to release. I'm getting the sense that it's now or never. This is what I'm feeling. Is I keep hearing it's now or never. Um, I'm also seeing a lot of green. Okay, let me backtrack because I know it's been a while. So if you're a new subscriber, I'm not only reading the numbers and the meanings because there's a book that accompanies this deck. So I'm not only reading, the meanings with the cards and things like that intuitively, the numbers as well as the colors, every image, anything on here, I'm picking up. So I'm seeing a lot of green here. Green for me is so interesting. This is my newest stone as well, aquamarine. This one is more green in tone. This bracelet is the same element, but this one um, I was most drawn to today when I was meditating, and I'm picking that up a lot here as well. There's growth and expansion. It's literally like, when you have nature, which perfect, thank you, Spirit. If you can see, there's a butterfly here. I actually saw the same butterfly today. My building is really tall, and this butterfly, for some strange reason, landed on my window like way up high. I mean, I guess they can go high as they want, but it was just strange to me to see it that high, but I saw the exact same one. But what I'm getting is that transformation that the butterfly makes, during its maturation, its transformation, from a caterpillar to, it goes from crawling on the ground to soaring. There's this new mechanism that this insect has that we don't know the mind of a butterfly, but I want to assume that this is something that takes place in nature. It's a natural evolution, okay? I'm going somewhere with this, I promise. So thank you for bearing with me as I sort of tap in. But this chrysalis that the caterpillar forms into, attaches itself to a branch or a plant or a tree or whatever, goes into this cocoon, starts to change and morph into something totally different. Now, there are remnants of what it was because on a butterfly or a moth, you still have that center of their body, right? So we knew what it was, but it looks totally different. We knew what it used to be, but these new mechanisms called wings takes this creature to a higher height. So you go from crawling on the ground to now having an aerial view and being able to look down at where you once were. Um, this is the overall energy within the collective. The collective, again, if you're new to this channel, if you're new to sort of the community, the collective meaning the greater body of people that are spiritually aligned or connected. Some people, identify with being from Atlantis if you want to talk about your planetary origins and things like that. There's a lot to get into. I would love to dive into that in another video as well. But so, for the collective energy, that's what I mean. Is this is where we are together, me included, is enough of this because now we're ready for what's real, whether it's, you know, third dimensional aspects with career, money, finance, things like that, or just spiritual maturation and transformation. We cannot function in this lower vibrational energy anymore. This literally cannot continue in our experience. So yeah, this is hardcore transformation and alchemy. And then the journey. It could not be more clear to me. Um, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck. There's so much going on here. But what always sticks out to me is the fact that she's walking in one direction. Her bags are in one spot, but it's almost like when the light is held back, it's almost like this person, um, they're looking for direction, but those lights, often with these cards as well, I want to point out whenever you have like a group of lights, this symbolizes your ancestral team, your angelic team, your ancestral support team. So right now I'm getting a lot of us don't even realize how divinely guided our lives are right now because it feels so chaotic, or maybe it's come to a halt and you're stuck thinking about what you don't want. But what I want to challenge you to do, as someone, I always say, I know, I believe and know that I'm a master of manifestation, master manifestor, because I understand the alchemy and the power behind what we think and what we create. So you are, I feel like a lot of us collectively have been stuck thinking and thinking and going over information, reading books and sort of gathering all this intel. But the movement now, remember I said July 16th, lunar eclipse, pay attention because this movement that I'm talking about is imminent. Okay? This is what this is about, this journey. She's not on a mental journey. This is physical movement. This is actual action in the third dimensional realm. Okay? So this is this is deep, and then you got card number two. I don't know how many of you lately have been continuing to get number synchronicities. I still get them. Um, what I'm not getting anymore is this person's name perpetually, which used to be, bombarded by that. But I am still getting number synchronicities, and number two has occurred in triples for me for the past week or so. And I think I read somewhere that a couple of other folks are going through that. But card number two, remember I said earlier the lunar eclipses, because of the moon's orbit, usually come in pairs. This is this to me, I'll be honest, is a journey toward that divine partnership. I'm getting that we may not know who this person is. We may have an idea, but there's been a total sort of revamping of what was our previous reality. Remember, I talked about that butterfly? We knew what it was, but we didn't know what we were going to become perhaps until we elevated and had that aerial view. So what I'm getting is that there's been a lot of thought, again, a lot of thought behind what was and what we don't want. But now, in order to manifest and shift into that place of alchemy, divine power, and creating what you want, creating this movement, you're going to have to shift your thinking from what you don't want to what you want. So knowing that you have your ancestral, your angelic team with you is very powerful. Now you can think about let you can think less about what was, you know what I mean, to what is, the support that you have, the direction, the signs and synchronicities. She's got signs in this image, right? She's got light, which symbolizes divine guidance. So that shift, that evolution in your thinking, this is the first card that popped out. So this is all about the mind, okay? The thinking woman. This is all the cerebral activity, right? Behind manifestation. So I'm getting that a lot of us are needing to heal on a mental level, first and foremost, and not being afraid of counseling or whatever, diving into the fact that, you know what, I need help in this area. I've got to master myself. So I've got to get serious about this because I want this movement. This, I knew it would be deep, and I'm really getting a lot from it for myself. I can tell you that much. Before I move on, I'm drawn to this one again, card 47. 7 plus 4 is what? 11. Divine. 11. I mean, if you're here, you probably know all about 11. If not, I promise I'll do a video on that. But if not, if you are not familiar with the power behind the number 11 in and of itself, definitely I challenge you to do some research. This reading is powerful. Card number 25, 5 plus 2 is what? 7. Another divine master number. So you got 2, 11, and 7. This again is just, this has nothing to do with anyone lying to you, or this is all about you deceiving yourself, or us, I should say, deceiving ourselves and being tired of this low vibrational energy, wanting to come out of this so that we get that movement, so that we have success on our journey. All right, so let me move down to our bottom row and tie this up. Card number 44, woman holding a heart. 44, I mean, we're already starting off, yeah, I mean, this way. This whole thing is just like so divine. There's so much power behind what spirit is trying to bring out. There's another butterfly here. So we've got consistent energy. That might even be a moth. Yeah, it could be a moth, but either way, I mean, same sort of creature, right? Um, I'm getting that this is all about alchemy again. That transformation, 44, beautiful divine number. And obviously, I did mention things coming in pairs, the journey card being card number 2. I mentioned the lunar eclipses occurring in pairs because of the moon's orbit. So there's this overall theme of a divine pairing or partnership, either coming back into balance or something new coming into your experience because of the alchemy, because of the transformation. I'm getting that we all want this at the end of the day. And here's the thing, let me just be totally freaking like just transparent. I mean, who doesn't want to be loved? Who doesn't want to be connected to someone in a deep spiritual way? I think there's not a person on the planet that doesn't want that. Um, there's nothing wrong with you or us having a desire toward this type of energy. It's so pure and beautiful, right? I'm still getting that there's this mental, cerebral, just sort of stuck energy. We are sort of, we've been stuck on one idea of what this should look like, right? The reason that divine partnerships are so important in our experience is because, yes, I do believe there is someone for everyone. And that is because when we incarnate into this third dimensional reality from whatever your planetary origin is, whatever your beliefs are, when you incarnate here, you need you need that other source of divine love in human form. Okay, I'm trying to break it down in such a simple way, but I'm just flowing with it, right? Bear with me, but we need that. If you look at any of the sages of old, any spiritual master, again, whatever your beliefs are, because everyone here is coming with something different in terms of what they believe in. But if you look at any of those entities or people that were depicted in history, um, I will use an example, probably one of the easiest examples to help me illustrate what I'm trying to get across is when you talk about the Christ. I don't like using the word Jesus. Um, that's a whole other video, but I will say the person of Christ, and again, hear me out, whether or not you think he existed or didn't, I'm not even talking about that right now. What I'm trying to get across is this. As an example, you hear it rumored that, oh, he had Mary Magdalene was his woman or whatever. Some people are really turned off by that, and they want to hold him in such high regard that, oh, he couldn't have had a girlfriend or anything like that because he was so holy. But this person was also human. Do you know what I'm saying? So you had that divinity and humanity coexisting in this third dimensional reality. So the person of Christ, why would it be impossible that he had a connection with someone else, a woman? You know how I'm trying to make it so simple, but my point is like, even this person that people revere so highly had a connection like that, why would we be any different? You know what I'm saying? So you need that other person. You need that experience in order to elevate. You may say, well, what about the monks and the nuns and things, the people that live their life in solitude? That's great. That's great. That's good for you. But whatever your journey, whatever your purpose, all I'm saying is there is nothing wrong with the desire to be connected to someone in a divine way. It may not be a traditional legal marriage. It may not be um, there may not be any traditional Western ideological format or way to be with this person, but the whole point is we all need each other, and I personally believe we all do need that one because that one is purpose to be connected with us, to guide us into our higher selves, to guide us into our higher purpose. Um, I'm getting all that just from holding this card and feeling the vibration of it, because 44, number one, is such a powerful number. This is this multiplied on levels, right? Card number two. But woman holding a heart is all about the alchemy of the heart, creating this divine partnership. Again, remember, this is the first card that came out from that mental space. And the reason you're doing it is because, not you, but we, because we have to take this, we have to take this journey. We have to. So let me move on, because I could probably be on this for a minute, but this was just, it just felt so right to really dive into this one strongly. And it's so self-explanatory as well. Before I lay this down, I want to point out the tone of her skin has nothing to do with race, but I'm looking at just the vibration behind the images, right? There's a purity, almost like an angelic sort of feel to this, meaning the divinity of the partnerships that you seek. You have to recognize when you come across a pure-hearted person, you will know. You will know. There will be no mistake about it. You're gonna recognize this person just from the sheer vibration of their voice, their actions, the way they think, the way that you transform your thinking because they have encountered you and you've encountered them. It's like everything starts to shift. I keep mentioning the word alchemy because everything shifts when you come into contact with someone like this. And never forget, you can create that experience, right? Um, I'm hearing it's so important to have a love like that. I didn't think this would dive into love. Remember, I said when we started, I'm gonna do what I do, whatever comes out, comes out. But for some reason, it's leaning in that direction. But I do believe that is because, remember, I talked about in the beginning having released, whatever. And so I think what's happening for us on a collective level is we're now doing the work and preparing to receive what we were creating in the first place. Because I think, you can have it in your head, oh, it's this person, but things totally shift around and you're brought back to yourself, because that transformation within yourself has to take place before you can receive what you were creating. Because remember, this, I don't know if you guys ever took my advice, if you were an early subscriber of mine, but if you ever go and listen to a woman by the name of Abraham Hicks, she has such interesting things to say about, the power behind basically law of attraction and how we create or attract things. One of the things that is a common theme is the vortex. The vortex is essentially a place where you have stored up what you wanted to create it by thinking about it on a consistent basis and only focusing on what you want and abandoning repeating the stories that fail, abandoning, talking about what you don't want, because the more you talk about what you don't want, the more you don't want occurs in your experience. And I know that this is true because I've lived it, I've done all that, right? Um, so, my point is that, yeah, to be thinking about this collectively, there's such a higher purpose behind this stuff. And it has to be the right person, because who wants to go on a lifelong journey with the wrong person? I'm not saying wrong person like something is wrong with these people that we've been releasing. I'm saying it just has to align. I'm thinking of this example I always give my close friends is, when something happens, I just love illustrating stuff. Um, Everything in life is a puzzle piece. these aren't the greatest tools to illustrate with, but my point is like everything has to fit, right? So if these things don't fit perfectly, if they don't align, that does not work. That does not form a clear picture, right? But when things align, hello, they come in pairs, right? Um, you literally have alignment. There's a divinity in the energy of being aligned. So when you put together a puzzle and all those pieces fit, you get one cohesive picture. It's beautiful, right? But while we're putting that puzzle together, it's so difficult to see the outcome. Maybe you'll look at the box and say, "Oh, I know it's supposed to look like this, so let me put it together according to how it's supposed to look." And if we're not doing that, if we're just okay with whatever, jamming shit in where it doesn't fit and bending corners and trying to make stuff fit and make people fit, I mean, that's just no, it doesn't work like that. There, everything in the universe is mathematically aligned. We know that. We know this, right? We know that the universe is mathematically perfect. You have things occurring like, gosh, I've got to find it. There's this thing that happens. I want to tell it to you exactly word for word, but it's so interesting. This we have this cosmic thing that happens. Let me tell you exactly the name of it. Let me not quote myself. Yeah. So it's called a okay, when a neutron stars collide. So I wish I could show you this, man. It would be cool if I could show you, but um basically when two neutron stars collide, there's this explosion that produces up to like a billion times the energy of luminosity of all the stars in the entire Milky Way combined. So for 50 seconds, this explosion takes place where these two stars align. And when those two stars align, they create the brightest light. That they create a light brighter than all the stars combined in the Milky Way galaxy. Do you see where I'm going? It's like when you come here to experience life in this third dimensional reality, you are aligned with someone. There is a someone, but that someone has to be aligned with a greater purpose in your life. And why is that? It's not just for, great sex or having a good time or having a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's so much deeper. And I think we are afraid to feel like it's deep, to feel like it matters because we've been programmed to think, oh, okay, love. I don't know what's going on with our generation, man, now, but it's like everyone's so afraid of this. Like, it just boggles my mind. There's nothing wrong with this because the power of this divine love and partnership is what fuels our purpose. It helps us to think about life on a deeper level. It drives us to be better people for ourselves. I always say one of my saying is love in its purest form will transform you. If it does not cause you to want to be a better person for yourself, is not love. It's not divine. It's not. So I think, again, on a collective level, we're being challenged to number one, abandon that lower vibrational thinking that there's something wrong with wanting a true connection, wanting a pure connection. So let me go be a hoe and let me just ignore my struggles and enjoy, all the third dimensional pleasures of life instead of controlling yourself and becoming balanced so that when this person does come into your experience, you don't hurt them. You recognize who they are and you nurture that connection, whether or not you nurture it into whatever you want it to be. But to be responsible for the people that come into your life is a big deal right now because I can tell you what's happening as well on the flip side. Uh, the universe is not playing. Karma is being served up on a platter so quickly, and it has nothing to do with punishment. It is a give and take. It's mathematics, it's science. Literally what you plant will grow. So if you've been the type of person that has not nurtured these divine partnership or whatever it is, you know what you were given. If you've been negligent with people's hearts, if you've been negligent with your own heart, what you plant will grow, is all I can tell you. Moving on to card number 17. 7 plus 1 equals 8. Another divine number. I love the number 8. The number 8 is very significant to me. But this is the card of action. What did I say earlier? I hadn't even looked at this, to be honest with you, but I talked about alchemy and taking action, didn't I? Yes, I did. So this definitely aligns with everything here so far. It is time, is what I'm hearing. It's time to stop messing around with your destiny, with our destiny. And lo and behold, what do you have here? Two again. Two horses. A lot of nature going on in this reading too, which speaks to that grounded energy, um, very pure divine energy that we're all trying to grasp right now. I also get here, there's a dove on this card that's beautiful. Just in the sky, like where the sunlight is, there's a dove. So peace. The peace that comes with a divine connection like this. I know that's what we all want. I definitely want that. And the reason we want it is because we got to be able to function when we're doing our work, right? Whatever it is we are called or purposed to do in this life. There has to be a peaceful environment. It's very simple, I think. Um, I also get here, I'm not sure if this is a male or female or whatever, irrelevant really, but black and white, yin yang, right? Excuse me. Yin and yang energy, balance is what I'm hearing as well. Um, this is deep. This is getting like really clear and serious to me. This person may or may not be like your regular type, or they may not be. You may not have expected this person. They just may look totally different from what you're used to. They may function. They just may lead a totally different life